Valley Campers Q&A Live with myself, Leigh, and today is something slightly different as I am in Poland. Last week we were travelling to Poland and I actually did the live from Germany. And that kind of went all right, apart from the fact that we're in one hotel room shared with my entire family and I had to keep the noise a little bit quiet because my kids were sleeping in the same room. We had to cut it short, sadly, because they started to stir and wake. However, I have a free hour completely to chat to you guys and answer any of your questions you have regarding camper vans, camping, travel, or anything of that sort. So yes, if you have any questions, then please feel free to start. To anybody who's been sort of watching my Instagram stories, then you would have seen what we've been up to over the last week. It's been absolutely lovely. Nice little family breakaway to see the Polish side of our family. My wife's from Poland, so we try and get to Poland as much as we can to see all of the family out there, which is wonderful. I believe we already have some comments coming in, so I shall go straight to those. We've got James, who, for those who don't watch before, or who haven't watched before, are fresh into us. We have a bunch of regular people who come in and tune in. James is one of them. James has come straight in and said, happy Easter, Leigh and family. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. It may well be a quiet one tonight because obviously it is Easter Sunday. It is earlier, and the reason it is earlier today is because we don't have a scheduled video this week, mainly because it's Easter. We've been doing stuff and it's just not been, well, let's put it this way, the 2 weeks leading up to us heading away for a trip were pretty hectic. And we didn't really get a lot of chance to film or sort out the videos and everything else ready for the Easter break. We had one that was potentially lined up, but I wanted to check with the people who we collaborated with before we actually went straight into doing that, or at least releasing that video. So yes, so it's wonderful to see everybody in. If you have tuned in and you want to get a little shout out or a mention, please feel free to mention down in the comments who you are, where you're from, what van you drive, or you know what you may have been doing over the Easter break, or what you have planned for the next week as well, because in the UK obviously schools are off actually for the next week, which is good fun. So yeah, I have to go back to work, which is no big deal, but it means the kids will be hanging around for another week. Right, we've got some comments and questions in. LN says, happy Easter, just fixed boost on the Synchro, so a great day. That is good. What was the problem, LN? Let me know what the problem was. Ben says, hi Leigh, what's next for the budget T5 build? Right, well, for a start, there's lots of things coming up, actually. We have, we've got some components to fit. There's security to fit. We're going to be fitting a immobilizer and tracking system to it. And we'll be giving all the details to you guys as to how to, not necessarily how to fit it, because we won't be showing you how to fit it, but we'll be going through all the pros and cons of fitting an alarm over an immobilizer, over a tracker, or a combination of all three. So it's going to be a good educational video if you want to go ahead and do that. We have to fit a stereo system. That is coming up as well. And we're also going to be fitting the SQ sound deadening range from Dodomat. That is going to be an awesome little thing to do. Plus we've got some brand new nice little products coming in that we haven't really mentioned yet, so that'll be a really, really nice one. And then we're going to start getting into the conversions. Now we've kind of, oh, an engine tune as well. I think we're definitely going to be going for an engine tune. I've got to chat with a couple more people about that. But yes, lots coming up for the Project T5. And we may well be introducing a new project too. So not that we're putting the T5 to one side, but I like to mix it up a little bit, just so we've got more than one subject on the go at the same time. So let's keep going on. Marcus is one of our own. You will, if you do ring the business, you would speak to Marcus. He is a fantastic guy, and he has got his new project, which is a KDN, a Citroen Acadian, which is like a 2CV van, but the later version. Wonderful little thing. And he says, I fitted my rear seat to my Acadian camper in the sunshine this weekend. So is that it? It's officially a camper now, is it, Marcus? Tony's tuned in. Good evening or good afternoon. He says, good afternoon, everybody. Dan Bryant, he says, hi, Leigh. MOT for our T25 Comet on Tuesday. Send positive vibes. Absolutely. What prep have you done in advance for your MOT? Have you had somebody look over it, or have you made sure your tyres are good, your bulbs are working? What have you been doing to it, Dan? Steve James has come in. He says, hi, Steve from Bristol. He says, hi, Steve from Bristol. Have a Vivaro, my old work van, and just under window next to the next the deadening and insulation like your videos. Well, Steve, well done, my man. It's always good working on your own vehicle. I believe the weather's been pretty good in the UK over the weekend as well. So if you have had a chance to get out there and work on your van, I'm sure this weekend has been great for it. Ian's come in and he says, thank you for your advice from last week on removing old glue from cab rubber mats on my T25. Advice was spot on. 5 litres of white spirits on soaking cloths work to treat. Yes, that's awesome, man. Well done. That's really, really good. James says, can you get alarms that use the original key fob, or do you have to have separate ones? Now, I'm no alarm expert, but I believe there's little fobs you can have on your key that work on proximity. So obviously you can have the unlock and lock, but there are very clever systems that will know when you're in the car, or know when the car's moving. On when you lock the car yourself, it will activate the alarm. Again, I will learn more with you when we come to film that, and I cannot wait. We've got a very, very good local company who supplies all the big names and works with all the big names in the alarm and automotive security world, so we cannot wait to have him along. We've already organised some bits and pieces coming up. Do excuse me if I sound a little bit bunged up, by the way. I've normal case scenario. You remember when you used to break up from school and then you always got ill in the summer holidays? Well, that's me. I've been working my socks off for the past 3 months, go on one break for a week, and now I've got a stinking cold. LN, he's explaining about his turbo. He says, turbo actuator stuck, wiggled with a spanner, replaced the vacuum home, lots of boost back. Awesome job, well done. Silver Fox Builds, hello my man. He says, hi all, when's the SQ stuff available for punters? So we will have that available on our website hopefully in the next week. So we get back off this trip, we're back into work Wednesday. We may even have it up on the website by the end of this week, and we'll be doing bundles as well. So yes, but Dodo Matt have been extremely busy. We've been extremely busy, add in the Easter break, etc., etc. We're all trying to get all our ducks in a row before we make it available for everybody, basically. But yeah, I cannot wait. But as for fitting in a T5, yeah, I mean, I could film for the next 20 days with all the stuff we've got for the T5. So yeah, again, do excuse the cold. I am suffering a little bit. Also, LN says it's the 1Z engine, so it's the 19TD. Is that right? Or the 16TD? I never do engine numbers, really. Dan Bryant's come back and says, general checks, all looking okay. No flashing lights, rubber on the tyres, fingers crossed. Nice work. Absolutely nice work. And as well, you always should do with cars is preventative maintenance rather than reactive maintenance. I'm a little bit guilty of doing a bit of reactive maintenance. However, before an MOT, always good to just check everything going forward. LN's come back and said 19 TDI. Awesome. So in terms of other projects we've got moving forward, I was in chats with a friend of mine actually over the weekend, over this last couple of days, and we've still got a TDI swap on my T25 Bully. So that'll be a good one. It's a PD130, so that'll be an awesome swap to do. Papa Goose has come in. Good evening. He says, got to fit a diesel heater to my Toyota Pro Ace. Crazy thoughts of fitting exhaust into wheel arch. Thoughts? Front or rear wheel arch, man? Now, exhaust in a wheel arch. Now, I'd say that's a problem. I'd say that would be a problem first off. However, our previous family car was a Volkswagen Touran, and it had an engine preheater, a diesel. Yeah, a diesel heater, which was the engine preheater. So in cold temperatures, it would kick in. We didn't know it had that feature. Just one day we heard the heater kick in when it was too cold. And the exhaust for that was in the wheel arch. And I know the diesel heater on the T5, the exhaust exits underneath the van. However, being a night heater, I would ensure that you make sure the tip of the exhaust is actually out the side of the vehicle. Because if it was a engine preheat diesel heater, you'll be running it, and then once the engine's warm, the diesel heater would turn off, so you'd never be static. Wonderful. Cups of tea. Thank you very much. The wonderful Dommy has brought me a cup of tea. That is awesome. Hopefully, to try and make me feel a little bit better. That was my wife, by the way. So yes, when you have a diesel heater, you really want to make sure the exit of the exhaust is sticking out the side of the vehicle, so there's a flow of gases just straight up, because you'll be having the heater on for prolonged periods of time whilst being static in the vehicle. It's not like you're moving it in the vehicle. So yeah, I would probably advise against having it in your wheel arch unless it is poking out. I mean, being in the wheel arch as well, you could have debris, dirt off your wheels that could potentially damage or break or even block the exhaust, and you don't want any exhaust being blocked, because then you could have fumes back up and into the cabin of the vehicle. But if you are having a diesel heater fitted, gosh, I can barely talk. If you are having a diesel heater fitted, do ensure that you have some sort of carbon dioxide monitor in there as well, okay? Black Crag says, just finished lining my transit after watching your excellent video, so thank you for all your hard work and brilliant content. You are more than welcome, Black Crag, and thank you very much for joining us this evening. So who is a regular today? There's say 13 people in the chat right now, or at least watching, who saw our little post we put out in the last couple of days to say we won't be putting a story out, we'll just be doing a live, or we won't be doing a regular video, to be doing a live. It's nice to get the feedback, see how you found the channel, how you found this live this evening, whether it's just popped up on your feed, whatever it might be. Always nice to get a bit of feedback, especially live. It's wonderful. Tree Dude, good evening, Steve and chat from Kent, UK. Good evening, Steve. Nice to have you in. Mini Freak 1 says, hello, Leigh, excellent channel. One question, what happened to Project Lockdown? Project Lockdown went. Now, yes, we have been guilty of starting a car, building it to a point, and then just sort of letting it fizzle away on the channel. That's before, when, I don't know, we never really had plans for vehicles. Obviously, during lockdown, everybody's life was upside down. And Project Lockdown was never meant to be like a camper conversion, so to speak. It was just something we could do and film during lockdown, because I couldn't have my regular cameraman. He did all my editing, but I couldn't have him at my house filming. Project Lockdown did actually get swapped with the guys from B Road Hunting Club, which is where we used to hold our campers and coffee. The boss at B Road Hunting Club, well, I turned up to one of their car meets in Project Lockdown. He took one look at it and went, I need that van in my life. Do you want to swap it? We very nearly swapped V5s on the spot for what you may know on the channel as, the Docker, the white Docker van. So we just completely swapped vehicles. Very nearly did it on the day, but I thought better of it because I was about 2 hours away from home. So yeah, Project Lockdown got swapped and I got the Docker, and then the Docker didn't get finished on the channel, so I apologise, mainly because work got in the way. That's the thing, YouTube isn't like our only thing that we do. We have a busy shop, we have a busy workshop. YouTube itself is actually just a little bit of fun for us. However, we're making big waves to make YouTube our main thing. I'd love it to be our main thing, because it's the part of the job I enjoy absolutely the most. I love doing YouTube content, I love teaching. So yeah, Project Lockdown went, the Docker came in and then came out again. So my apologies. James says, I've been with you on the lives every week since you started on YouTube 2 months ago. Actually, James, now, although you've been in it on the lives the last 2 months, we've actually been doing lives for about 3 years. I just had, again, from the lockdown and how busy the business got and everything else, I had a bit of a hiatus from all of it. But yeah, this year I really wanted to do YouTube lives every week, and it's been wonderful to have you in. So yeah, it's excellent to have everybody here. James says, sorry, that was James. Liz O'Toole, hello Liz, how are you doing? Hi again from Dublin, currently sat in my camper, converting. Nice job, Liz, very nice to have you here again. Tree Dude says, hi Leigh, Mini Freak has given me a smiley face as well. Awesome, 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 awesome. So yeah, has anybody been away this weekend, or has anybody got any plans to go away for the remaining Easter break? A friend of mine, he's just done the North Coast 500. The week before, obviously, everything got really, really busy over the Easter weekend, and he had a fantastic time. There's been friends of mine going out camping locally, all sorts of stuff. So who's been out camping, or, you know, who does more travel than anything else? I hope if you've been watching our Instagram, you've been enjoying our little stories of our travel. And has anybody got any questions regarding European travel? You know, we've done a fair bit of it, and I can always answer your questions. Tree Dude, obviously he's got a VW Caddy. His next question is, anybody know if the VW Caddy British gas fan aerials get in the way of roof rails? Yes, we might have to put that to the board. Are there any Caddy owners in the chit chat right now? Now, it depends, I guess, which roof rails you get, depending on if they miss or hit. Mini Freak 1 says, went away in our T4 last weekend to Wednesday? Last weekend to Wednesday, and did part of the Lakes 100. Nice. What is the Lakes 100? Please divulge. I've not heard of that. Is that actually a route? Is that a recognised route? I'm going to guess that's kind of like a play on the NC 500. Oh, that's nice, James. James says, Coombe Valley is one of my favourite YouTube channels. Do you know what? Over the last couple of weeks, especially on this week break, normally when we come to Poland, it is my time to absolutely switch off as much as I can. You know, I've turned all the notifications off on my emails, on my phone. Although we've had to do some bits of work in the last week, I've really, really tried not to do work. So I have been consuming a good bit of YouTube, and my favourites that I've been growing, or the people who have been growing fond of recently, are definitely the likes of Vice Grip Garage and what's his name now? Vice Grip Garage. Gosh, what's his blooming name now? Junkyard Digs. Does anybody watch any of those sorts of channels? All these revival ones based in America. I love all of these. Silver Fox Build says, no trips away, sadly, just cramming build time before I'm working away for a fortnight again. Oh, that's sad times. LN says, Nice, France and Monaco. Flew, not camper, just scoping out. Nice. Yes, it is a route. You can buy the fold-out map for around a tenner. Went Saturday and came back home Wednesday. Now, the lakes is somewhere I've not really done. I've done walking over the lakes when I was in the army. But the place we spend a lot of our time as a family at the moment is over in Wales. We like South Wales in the Brecons, we like North Wales, Snowdonia area. Absolutely love it up there. And a friend of mine is coming back from Australia, back to Wales. He's an old soldier friend of mine. So I think we're going to have to make an excuse to go for another trip to Wales to go and see him shortly. So that'll be good fun. So yes, if you are, obviously you are on YouTube now, and you know, having your names here and everything else, you do watch YouTube, or you have at least made an account with YouTube. So leave some comments down below. Who are your favourite channels? Who do you watch regularly? I don't care what it is, because I watch all sorts of channels. You know, I watch paint restoration. I watch guys in Australia, guys in America. You know, slamming a bit of Time Team in there. Who knows? You know, there's all sorts of things I watch on YouTube. So if you've got a favourite channel, leave it down below. Let's leave some recommendations for our friends in the chat. That'd be good fun. James, Band Obsession Motorsport are great, but they're slow at releasing content on Binky. Yeah, isn't Binky the Mini that's like a 10-year-old project now, if I remember rightly? Tree Dude, he says, landlocked this year, but I'm prepping my van for the Baltic Circle Rally 2024. Man, again, I'm learning all sorts. The Baltic Circle Rally, that sounds interesting. Divulge a bit of information on that, please, Tree Dude. That sounds good fun. Do you know what? I'll be back in a second. I am going to have to go and get some tissue because I do need to blow this bloody nose. I can barely talk. 2 seconds. I'll be back. Oh. Gosh, sorry about that. Blowing nose. It's really come on in the last couple of days as well. So, Superlative Adventure Club. Is it said superlative? Superlative Adventure Club? Okay, that sounds great. I'll have to look into that. James has come back, says, yeah, Binky is a Mini. They're converting to a Celica 4x4 running gear. They've been doing it for years. Yeah. Celica or Celica? What would you say, Celica or Celica? Motivate is back. Good evening, my man. He says, ayo, my dudes. Sorry, a bit late to the party. Hope you're all good and groovy. Yeah, we're all good here, man. Yeah, it's an early one today, so you're not late. Generally, our regular scheduled programming goes up at about 6 p.m. But because, well, for a start, we're on a time difference. It's now 7:20 for me over in Poland. So that's one of the reasons we're early. And secondly, because we didn't have a regular scheduled video in. So yes, so yeah, we are over in Poland. We drove over in our family car, which is a BMW 3 Series with a roof box because we've got such a massive dog. We can't fit anything else in the boot, but it's a good little car. Good little car. It's actually the 3-banger petrol turbo, which is bizarre to have such a small engine in a big car, but it flies. It does really well. It cruises at 80, 90 on the Autobahn. We drove all the way through Germany this time, rather than Germany, then through Czech Republic and then Poland, because Maps and Waze were saying it was quicker going through Germany. And it was a fantastic little trip. You know, we did about 6 hours driving on day 1 and 6 hours driving on day 2. We stayed over in a town called, or a city called Kassel, just in the outskirts of Kassel. That was really good fun. And yeah, we've just had a nice week chilling. We've been walking around the mountains, seeing some sights, but mainly seeing family, chilling, buying a couple of bits and pieces, stuff like that. And what's been lovely, this is the first Easter we as a family have had in Poland. My wife hasn't been back to Poland for 18 years for Easter time. So it's the first time I've ever seen Easter celebrations in Poland, and they treat it like Christmas here. Obviously, Poland's a Catholic country, and I'm no churchgoer. But you know, we went to the church to have some food blessed and to hear some bits and pieces. Obviously, I can't stand a thing anyway. But it's been really nice. We went to go and see the family today. We had the Easter brunch, which is what they do. So yeah, it's been lovely spending time, and I got to build my Lego. If I get, I mean, people, you might have seen a previous chit chats on this live that I got a really cool Lego kit for Christmas. It's sat right here. In fact, there's the instruction book. I finished it today. Who wants to see it? If everybody in the chat now gives this live a thumbs up, because you've got 1 thumbs up right now. There's 15 people watching right now. If you want to see this video, or if you want to see the finished Lego model that I did today, hint, it's Back to the Future DeLorean. If anybody wants to see it right here, give this video a little thumbs up wherever you can. That doesn't work, Tony. You can give a thumbs up in the comments all you like, my man. But if you can give a thumbs up in the video, you know, that would be wonderful. But yes, because you've done that, I will. So whilst we're doing that, I'm going to just go through a couple of the comments. James, he says, well, he's gone Celica. Yeah, not Celica. Okay, cool, Celica. Mini Freak says, regularly watch yourself. AVE, Bad Obsession, when they release footage. The Gentleman's Motor Racing Team, and I watched Campervan build a bodge his way through converting vans to campers. Campervan build a botch. bodge his way through converting camper vans. Okay. Motivate says, I just removed my single swivel rib from the driver's side. It wasn't pushing my buttons nor suiting my needs. Anyone interested? It's for a left-hand drive T5, T6. Do you know what? I'm sure there's somebody out there. So it's a driver's swivel for a T5, T6. So there is, so Motivate's selling his, Motivate's selling his, basically for us, a passenger swivel seat from Rib, is it? Yeah, Rib. Tree Dude says, Motivate, hi, I'm not sure what swivel rib is, but a swivel seat in a caddy would be awesome. Sadly, Tree Dude, in a caddy van, you cannot swivel the seats. They are not in the right location. However, there is a video out there that somebody has done where they have modified their passenger seat or their driver's seat. I can't remember which now. But if you, in a caddy, instead of having a swivel seat, but you want a rear-facing seat, what they've done is set up a framework that hangs off the headrest in the back of a caddy. And what they do, they slide the seat. When they get out of the van and they're living in the back of the van, they slide the seat all the way forward, then tilt the seat all the way forward, and they have a framework which folds down a base. So effectively, say if this is your driver's seat, and this is your steering wheel, you slide the seat all the way forward and put it forward there, and then there's a framework, and they use the back and a seat base. So you're effectively sitting on the back of the front seat with a pad. If I can find the video, I'll leave it in the comments. But yeah, so you're sitting on the front seat, but on the back of the front seat. So it's not a swivel, you're just sitting on it backwards, so to speak. Because you just can't do a swivel in a caddy, sadly. Tony said, I've done both. Right. So anybody else in the comments there or watching the live right now, allegedly there are 15 of you according to my screen. Can I get one more like on the video, a thumbs up? Find the thumbs up button for this live and I shall reveal the Lego model. I know it's probably not for everybody and half of you couldn't care less. There we go, we've had one more like. Tree Dude says 8. Right, here we go. So I started this last night at about 9 PM, finished at about 2 AM. Let me just get the accessory in. This thing is super cool. I got it for Christmas, or my birthday. My birthday's around Christmas anyway. And today is the first time I've had a chance, or the last couple of days. There we go. For all those 80s babies out there. How good is that? Proper Lego DeLorean. And you can rebuild this into different versions. So this is obviously from the first film because it's got the stalk. And then you can change the wheels. So it looks like the one from Back to the Future 3. You can take this out and you can put like a Mr. Fusion here instead. So it looks like the one from Back to the Future 2. You can even change out the number plate to the one with the barcode from Back to the Future 2. So it's got a couple of cool features. Obviously it's got the doors for one, which are very cool. It's got a full interior. Let's see if I can show you. So you can just about see the flux capacitor in the back there. Oh, hang on, let me just make it a bit more apparent. There you go, it lights up as well. The flux capacitor in the back there. It's got the switch just down here that helps you turn on the time circuits, and the time circuits are in the front there. In the back, nothing opens in the back. However, one of the coolest features, there we go, ready? I've got the handle. You seeing this? 1, 2, 3. Is that not the coolest thing ever? Is that not the coolest thing ever? There's a little handle here. And part of the feature is that you can fold up. So now it's the flying DeLorean. You can just tell by the smile on my face how happy I am with this. Oh, another feature. Hang on, let me just put, there's like a stand on it. It's even got an opening hood. And inside, it's got the box with the plutonium in, and it's got Marty's hoverboard in there as well. Yeah, people are going, love it that you're such a nerd. I'm a total nerd. I'm a proper 80s baby. I love 80s nostalgia. And the fact that I was given this for my birthday and not had the chance to build it yet, yeah. I mean, you've got to have some pleasures in life, right? The last proper Lego model I built was about 7 or 8 years ago, and it was the camper van one. Again, it was a present. So, yeah, really chuffed with that. And again, that's the little accessory for the top. And the fact that the flux capacitor lights up in the back as well. It's just the coolest thing. Who knows? Maybe I'll get the light kit for it, but apparently the light kit costs about as much as the actual model itself. So, yeah, very happy with that. One last flick of the wheels there. Super cool. Super cool. They've got it so right. Anyway, oh, hang on. Where are they? You get 2 little minifigures in it too. I don't know where the Marty is right now, but there's a little Doc Brown. How cool. Yes. So call it about 6-7 hours worth of building time on that one. Crazy, isn't it? Right, back to the chat. Hope you enjoyed that, by the way. Tree Dude says, fluxing hell. Oh no, hang on. Right, Ellen says, hey, if we're selling stuff tonight, Synchro for sale. Nice one. Stueggy1 says, hi Leigh, saw your last live chat. I'm still trawling through your videos, just watching the red T4 you did a couple of years ago. Keep up the good work and vids. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much for tuning in. Tree Dude says, fluxing hell, motivates, got a heart face emoji. James, that is cool. Motivate, it's even got the hook. Mini Freak 1, that is really cool. I've got the Lego Mini, split window camper, and a VW Beetle. Yeah, I've only got the camper van and that. I can't generally justify buying Lego, so I have to wait till birthdays and Christmas for things like that. Yes, Mini Freak goes on to say the Mini and camper both have lighting kits too. Motivate, I'm getting one now too. Yeah, you have to. It's a really good build and the detail is just fantastic. James says, I bet it's more reliable than a real one too. Yeah, do you know what? And you know when people say, if you had all the money in the world, what car would you buy? The DeLorean is one. I have a very low threshold when it comes to cars I would buy because I've pretty much owned everything I've ever wanted. I've owned a classic air-cooled Beetle, I've owned a Bay, I've owned Type 25, T4, T5. I've never owned a split, however I've worked on loads enough to know I don't really want a split because they're too small. They're a nice thing to have, but I don't really want one. And the other car I'd have is a Ferrari F40. But that's obviously dreamland, because it's the car I grew up with the poster on my wall, the Ferrari F40. Amazing car. There's a good thread of comments. If you could buy any car tomorrow, what would it be? Or if you've owned your dream car, let me know. Tree Dude says, we don't need roads. Motivate says, I love that you're such a nerd. Yeah, I'm a total nerd, man. Absolute nerd. I love nerdy films. 80s nostalgia. I made even a, what do they call it? Cosplay. I did hang on. It was only a fancy dress party, but I made a proper accurate cosplay of Marty McFly. I even shaved my beard and had a proper wig. It was amazing. Silver Fox Bill says, looks awesome, dude. Oh, it looks awesome, bud. Sister-in-law works for Lego in Denmark, so you can only imagine their house. Mate, there's a dream job right there. Ralph Jansen says, good evening all. Good evening, Ralph. Tree Dude said, if money was no object, I'd have a land ship overland 8-wheeler and a bug out to Tataria. Mate, that sounds awesome. City's God says, Talbot Horizon. What's a Talbot Horizon? Is that a motorhome or is that... I don't know what a Talbot Horizon is. BMW E28 B7 says Ralph Jansen. Mate, it's awesome cars. Awesome cars. Right, 14 people in the chat. I've just asked, what's your dream car? If you had the opportunity to buy any car right now, what would it be? I've just said my number one would be a DeLorean. My second one would be an F40. DeLorean over an F40. Oh, and if I had the option for a third, it would be a screen-used Herbie. Yes, I'm that much of a nerd. Where are we? Motivate. A T1 would be my dream car, only with a Porsche engine mod. Some guys are in the States making T1s with aluminum shells. Yeah, I've seen those. It's crazy. You can actually buy an entire split window bus in panels or have a shell made for you. Crazy. Yeah. Right. Anybody else dream cars? Okay then. Oh, hang on. Here we go. City's God says Talbot Horizon was my first car. It was a petrol engine car that sounded like a diesel. Stuegi says Mini Cooper works. Yes, I'm going to hope that's an original Mini Cooper. Silver Fox Build says second the B7 at Ralph. Yeah, man. E28 B7. Oof. An 80s old clunker. A Talbot Horizon. It's not the hatchback, is it? Amazing job, everybody. I love that. Okay, then. I like a bit of Q&A the other way because there's not many camper van conversion chit chats going on right now, which is fine by me. I like coming here and chatting to you guys anyway, guys and gals. What is, if you could take your camper van anywhere tomorrow, where would it be? Where would you take your camper van tomorrow if you could? I'll start. Right this second, I want to take my camper van to the west coast of Ireland. There you go. Because I know it's beautiful down there and I just haven't had the opportunity to take it around there yet. So yeah, west coast of Ireland. Or more, I want to see more of Switzerland. I've been very fortunate. I've travelled to most European countries in bully. We've done France, Belgium, Holland, Spain, Germany, Poland, Czech, Austria, Italy, Monaco, France, yeah. So I've been to a lot of European countries. LN says Iceland. Yeah, do you know what? I'd love to do, say, Norway, Sweden, actually, as well. But seeing more of Switzerland in my camper is something I would love to do, because we did Switzerland last year. We kind of went through Switzerland and it was kind of a cannibal trip. But yeah, absolutely loved it. Absolutely love Switzerland. We learned some things, that's for sure. Mini Freaks. Sorry, I'm reading comments right now. Mini Freaks has come back. Says square and boxy hatchback, not very well built, but make awesome rally cars. Lotus even did a version of it too. Tree Dude's come back and said northern tip of Norway. Sounds amazing. Ralph, USA. Yeah, any part of the USA or just a USA trip? Oh yeah, that was the Talbot Sunbeam. I was thinking of the Talbot Sunbeam, Sid. Motivate says, I would love to drive to Norway currently, but they're having amazing... Oh, currently they're having amazing Aurora Borealis. Massive solar flares going on. Yeah, haven't we been able to see them in the UK recently? I haven't seen them. But yeah, they've been having them in the UK. Gosh, this nose is not letting up at all. Can you just blow my nose real quick? Do excuse me. Stinking cold. So you've got your dream locations. Are you actually driving your van anywhere overseas this year? Or are you staying local, just breaking the vans in? Tree Dude says the Midnight Sun is nuts. Ralph has come back and said just a USA trip. Yeah, I'd love to do a USA road trip. Cyprus in a camper van, said Sid is God. Yeah, do you know what? Cyprus, yeah, because they've just been to Cyprus on TV, haven't they? Just to show the state of the country. Who was doing that? Can't remember who it was, but there's obviously the divide in Cyprus and military areas have now opened up and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah. Right, so just currently then, we are 40 minutes in. I'd say we've got 20 minutes left. Is there anything pressing you want to ask? You know, is there anything pressing about camper van conversions, split charges, diesel heaters, insulation, sound deadening, any of our current projects? If people want to find out anything about our current projects, any upcoming projects, I am here to answer your questions, obviously. Mini Freak, my T4 2.4 diesel AAB engine is a bastard to start when cold. Any tips? What have you done to provincially look at that? Have you changed anything? Have you serviced it, changed fuel filters, changed glow plugs? Are all your sensors good? Have you plugged it in? All of those sorts of things. 2.4D AAB. It could even be some sort of air leak going on somewhere. All sorts of things. Yeah, have your glow plugs been changed recently? Is the timing right? Because timing plays a big part, if I remember rightly, in the 2.4Ds, the diesel pump anyway. Motivate says, oh crap, I forgot to send my roof pics where the gap is after I remove the bulkhead. Yeah, we need to see that. Change the heaters. I'm going to say, oh, serviced it fully. Yeah, maybe have a look at timing there. I'll put it out there straight away. When it comes to the mechanic side of it, I'm not the best person to ask. I am not a trained mechanic. I've made that very well known on the channel. I know the conversion side of things very, very well, but I'm not a trained mechanic, and especially not a diesel specialist. I will put that question though to one of our guys. In fact, both of our guys are very, very good with diesels. Sam, however, one of our guys, he is a fully trained diesel technician, so I can ask him on my return on Wednesday. I hope that helps. So, City's God, I have a Caddy Maxi with a pop top from Rising Sun. I've made a bedboard from ply and cladded it. Can you recommend the best lightweight materials to make a bed and keep the overall weight down? A Caddy Maxi with a pop top from Rising Sun, made a bedboard from ply and cladded it. When you mean West Dubs roof for a Caddy. So are you having the pop top up and then you're fitting a bedboard across it? Is that what you're saying? And then clad it. What have you clad it in? Because I think the best thing you could have done, really, you have, what's it called? It's Rhino board or Gorilla board. It's a very, very strong ply, which means you shouldn't have to clad it. Stueggy, are you any good with electrics? My T5.1 comes up with bulb warning light when brakes pressed. Plug scanner in and it says short somewhere. Have checked bulbs, or could be the body control manual faulty. Yeah, definitely check your body control module. With a T5.1, you're probably looking at earths. Bulb warning light when the brakes are pressed. Bulb warning light when the brakes are pressed. Hang on, in the T5.1, when your bulb warning light comes up, oh no, that's the T4. If you've got like a bulb out, it will say turn the van off or something like that. Yeah, BCMs, check how clean they are, especially the one under the seat. You saw the one we've just done on the TKT5 recently. The earth's in the back. Check the looms under the seats as well, because they can get moisture down in those under the front mats and then affect your wiring. So definitely check out your wiring under your driver's and passenger seat for sure. Motivate says, oh, I tested my battery after running the engine for a while, so it's definitely a smart alternator. Which Victron thingy do I need? It's time to start spending bucks on electrics. Right, so you are after a DC to DC battery charger. It's the Victron. The Victron one comes in different sizes, but if you are just an average user, so to speak, so you've got a 95 amp hour or 115 amp hour battery, you wouldn't need anything more than a 30 amp DC to DC charger from Victron, and you can spend a bit of extra and get the Bluetooth connection, which is always good. Right, so going back to City's God, thank you very much. I have Caddy Maxi with a pop top from Rising Sun. I've made a bedboard from ply and cladded it. Can you recommend the best lightweight materials to make a bed and keep the overall weight down? You cladded it to look nice. Sorry, the question is for the bed down below, looking to make a sideways pull-out. So if you have a look on our website, we actually sell a pull-out bed. It's all CNC cut from ply, and you can profile it just slightly to fit the inside of a caddy very, very nicely. We fitted a couple in caddies before, so if you have a look on our coomvalleycampers.co.uk website, look for vehicle furniture or camper van furniture, and there is a slide-out bed. Comes in a variety of different prices depending on the finish you want. So yeah, that's a really good one, and it saves you a bit of extra work as well, and weight, because it's all CNC cut. Tree Dude says, my van's 2009 without a smart alternator, so I'm fitting a split charge relay. Yep, if you don't have a smart relay, I would recommend, if you are going for a split charge relay, you go for the VSR, which is the voltage sensing relay, which means it'll only click over or click closed to charge your battery once your vehicle battery has reached 13.7. If you go for just a 30 amp relay type split charge, it will just turn on automatically despite what charge your vehicle might be at. Motivate says, thanks, Bluetooth extra for sure. Is that a separate additional device or a one-up model? No, you can buy them with or without the Bluetooth. It's just an extra addition within the actual module itself. Neil Robertson, happy Easter. No question this week, Neil. No worries, Neil. Thank you for tuning in. It's nice to have you here. Stu Eggy1 says, sorry guys, got to go. Older parents need tablet. Catch you next time. Thanks, Stu. Stu, thank you so much for tuning in. It's very, very nice to have you here. Good. Oh, God, it's very warm in here right now. Do you know what? In Poland, a lot of the properties have cellar central heating, or central heating in the cellar. Like where my mother-in-law lives, this is a very small block of apartments. There's a cellar downstairs, and they use coal. So the whole area still uses coal. I mean, it's slowly converting over to gas, but the smell of wintertime in Poland, and it has been winter here. You know, we saw -7 at its lowest this week, but yeah, the whole place is always warm because we're just on the ground floor and the cellar's underneath, so you get the residual heating from the heating system anyway, and it's quite cheap to run, but it's that smell of Poland that I have in my head of the coal around here. It's wonderful. Motivate says, what did the Bluetooth thing do exactly? So the Bluetooth monitor is basically, you can get an app on your phone called Victron Connect. You could actually download it right now if you wanted to. And basically that connects with any Victron Bluetooth app that you may have installed in your vehicle or conversion. And you can monitor your incoming voltage. So if you have solar, or charge, incoming voltage, and your outgoing voltage as well, and it will track your usage over time or your charge over time. So having that ability to monitor your battery charge and discharge whilst on the go, or even whilst you're driving, or even whilst you're static in your van, saves you having maybe a battery monitor in your van. It's always a good thing to have. Trudy says the Victron is the dog's nads, but only if you have only necessary if you have a 2016 Euro 6. Fair enough, my man. So I've just had a comment from somebody else come in from another app. Nope. That's good. Wowzers. So yeah, we're answering lots of questions today. Trying to think what else we can chit chat about. It's been a nice one. Nice to have you here. Certainly nice to have you here. We're actually driving back tomorrow. We're driving back to the UK tomorrow. So it's our last night here in Poland. I think the kids are just going to bed. We're going to be packing bags and loading up the car. First thing tomorrow morning, we're going to be leaving here about 10, we think, which means we'll get to Germany for about 5 o'clock, or our location in Germany for about 5 o'clock. Chill there for a bit, have an overnight stay, make a breakfast, and then going straight home. Motivate says, are you driving through Hamburg then? I'm afraid not, my man. We won't be driving through Hamburg, but we will be returning to Europe in the summer. We have decided we are coming over back here in the summer, I think. But it's going to be like a camping trip. This won't be our final destination. It will be a halfway point. And yes, we may well make Hamburg one of our stops. Neil Robinson says, will the Victron be okay under the driver's seat and not get too hot? No, we fitted plenty of equipment under a driver's seat of, say, a T5, and that's including the leisure battery. And as long as you follow the instructions, you need to have a decent air gap underneath, you have a decent air gap on top. It's a unit that uses quite a big heat sink on the back, so you have to mount it vertically so the heat can obviously pass up and through it. And generally, if it's on a T5 seat, we normally mount it against one of the frames, and we either install a bracket to mount it to, or we install it on the side of the seat. So yeah, it's very happy under there. It doesn't get too bothered at all. It's very nice of you to offer to come in through Hamburg. I don't know how much. No, we spoke about it last week, didn't we? It's quite a diversion. It's about 2 hours out of our way, and our train we are catching at about 4 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon, which means we need to be there at 3. So we won't have that much time, my man. Motivate says, this Bluetooth device for the diesel heater, do you install these too? Do we install the Bluetooth device for diesel heaters? Yes, we do. In fact, you mean the Wi-Fi? The ones that we use at the moment are for Wi-Fi. But I believe there are some upgrades coming up. Tree Dude says, at Neil Robinson, yeah, you'll be fine. They say not to fit over flammable material, e.g. carpet, but that's a cautious recommendation, in my honest opinion. Yeah, do you know what? As long as you're sensible with electrics, you can't go too wrong, really, and especially with installation. You know, I've seen a lot of people cram a lot of shit into a box, but you can get stupid with it. You know, you've got to read the instructions of these items you are fitting. You've got to make sure you are fitting equipment in the right orientation. You've got to have fuses in the right place. You've got to have breakers in the right place. You've got to use the correct grade and thickness of wire. Excuse me, I think I'm going to sneeze. Gosh. Oh my gosh, yeah, this cold's going to kick my ass. I'm sure it will. But yes, in terms of leisure electrics, it's worth spending the right money in the right places. It's a pleasure when people ask us to fit some good stuff into their vehicles, because it's a pleasure to fit, and it's a pleasure to use, and it's a pleasure to have in those vehicles, that's for sure. Ralph Jansen says, cheers. Am I saying that right? Jansen? Cool. Motivates us, bless you. Yeah, man. Right, this, I definitely am going to need to blow my nose again. And I think I'm going to call it here because I can barely speak. I can barely breathe through my nose. But I want to say thank you so much for everybody for tuning in. I'm short about 7 minutes, so my apologies this week. Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's going to be regular scheduled programming as of next week. We have a video in stock for you, and we will be having a live on the Sunday after. So it's going to be a very, very busy week, I think. Yes, because I'm moving in the next couple of weeks as well. So yeah, no rest for the wicked. Absolutely. Right then, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. Really good to have you here. Motivate says, I'm coming to your workshop in May, my dude. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a pleasure to see you and everybody else. Super. Right, guys. I'll see you back in the UK next week. All right. Thank you so much. James, Tree Dude, Motivate. Have a good rest of your weekend. Yeah, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.